Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald, bringing you a reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for love for the week of July 26th through August 1st, 2026. Out of the Light Series Tarot, we have the Death and Rebirth card up here at the top left. And then we also have the Star card. And on the bottom, we have the Tower, the Empress, and the Two of Wands showing up for you. So Cancer, really feeling like this is a week where you're feeling as though something is coming to an end. Now, this doesn't have to be an end of a relationship. This could really simply be the end of a dynamic within a relationship. And so an end of a cycle is happening. And I think that you could be left in a space where you're feeling like things are really falling apart with that Tower card here on the bottom. Just know that you are being divinely guided and protected throughout all of this. And I think that you should know that this is really creating space for something new to happen and to transpire and to bring a revitalization to this connection, this love connection that you have. I feel like you could feel like you're in a space where there's a little bit of a void in your heart, right? Like things aren't quite as fulfilling as you had hoped that they would be. Perhaps this person is not reciprocating your love that you're expressing. Maybe you aren't having your needs met within this dynamic at all. And I think that ultimately they're not doing their part. And so you really are craving somebody to be a teammate with you, somebody to be your cheerleader, somebody to celebrate the wins in life with. And I think that ultimately this is leading you to a space where knowing that things that are crumbling right now, they have to crumble in order for you to be able to lay the framework that you need to be able to take things next level, right? So if you've watched this reading so far and you're still with me, please do me a favor and hit me in the comments with next level, because this is really you in your glow up. I feel like your energy is really revitalizing itself, really shining, right? I do feel like you're glowing at this time with that Empress card, okay? And I think that this is really going to enable you to kind of bring things to the top, rise to the top, to really feel like you're on top of the world, right? And things are happening for you. It's almost as if you're hesitant, though, to kind of let things go. And I think that as you hesitate to let that go, it becomes heavier and heavier, right? I just feel like you're just dragging this big suitcase, this big baggage behind you. It's heavy, it's awkward, it's hard to carry. You can't take it places with you in certain spaces, and so you can't necessarily do what you want to do by having that and carrying that with you. And I think that ultimately this could translate into like a reality situation where you could actually have a physical bag of mementos from a former relationship even, but are trinkets, just something small in a very small baggie is what I'm feeling. And I think that even though it's a really small baggie, that could be weighing you down, right? It could feel heavy, right? And I think that with that, that's just making sense of everything that's transpiring, because it will translate to you seeing that and then perhaps being reminded of how you were treated poorly with that person, or a situation that happened that you weren't proud of how you handled that situation. There's some negative energy. I don't want to say negative energy, but there's some uncomfortable feelings, I guess, that kind of arise with that, with those things. And so this could be a time where you decide that because you see that and it instantly reminds you of that, and you don't like the way that makes you feel, that this could be a time for you to throw that away, right? And I don't feel like it's just those things. I feel like you could be doing a massive clean out of things right now, really getting rid of a lot of things. And what that's doing is getting rid of things in your environment really opens up a flow of energy to really invite new energy in. And I hear that song. It's a Disney song, like the Jungle Book, The Bare Necessities. I hear that song playing. It's funny because it's almost as if you're simplifying so that you can then ultimately simplify your routines and become a little bit more mindful about creating a space where you have less stress, right? So this stress-free living will then translate into a stress-free atmosphere, stress-free handling of your dynamics within your relationship. It's all going across the board. And I think that when you're able to shift that focus into simplifying within your love dynamic, you begin to start to focus on things that are your main building blocks of your love. You start focusing on things that are happening in the present and not worrying so much about what happened in the past or worrying about what's coming next, looking for that deeper commitment, right? Like, you stay present. And when you do that, it releases some of that anxiety about what comes next, right? And so it ultimately immediately simplifies your emotions. It releases the need to kind of control things. It really invites in a lot of ease, and it really prevents you maybe even from putting unrealistic expectations on this person within this relationship. And so, you're not holding them to fancy dates, or, you're not having conversations bringing up the past, but just really being present with one another, being mindful of this ease that you create within your connection, okay? Because at the foundation of that is your safety. Do you feel emotionally safe with this person? Do you both mutually have mutual respect? You both respect one another? Are you both honest with one another? Is the trust there? Are you both able to create a space in which you feel safe to show affection to one another, right? Those are the basic building blocks of that foundation. And I would say if any of those at the core are shaking and not stable, perhaps if the trust has been disrupted, things like that, that's when I would start to question whether, this is a solid foundation to build going forward, right? Because if there's nothing left within those basic core principles, then that would be something that you would consider maybe more not pursuing any further, right? And so ultimately we all have free will, and that is a choice that you'll have to make, right? But I think this person that you have this connection with, they do have a lot of anxiety themselves, right? I feel like they have a low level anxiety that they're constantly running with. And so any extra expectations, sorry, I'm trying to talk too fast. It really kind of kills the buzz, right? It kind of dampens their energy to invest more into the love connection. And so if you are able to create that ease, you may see this person start to flourish within that connection. But I think you, at your core, you're glowing, right? With that Empress. I love that. And I think that this is a time like never before for you to attract the love that you're seeking and not to chase. Okay, so the Empress attracts. The Empress does not chase anybody, right? And now I'm not saying that that isn't okay for you to take initiative or to try to stimulate the conversation or to make the phone call or to make the reservation or to invite that person, right? I'm not saying not to do any of that. What I am saying is to give it a little breathing room for that person to be able to step forward themselves and to show you what they're made of, to show you that they can build in this connection with you. Okay, it's a beautiful energy, and I think that what's meant for you ultimately will find its way to you. I think it's about trusting that will happen. And so building on an instinctual love, those core principles of the solid foundation, right? It's operating in the here and now. It's not forward thinking. It is not reflecting too much on the past, but you're pulled together by this raw, intense attraction. You're both following your intuition, right? And you feel that deep connection in that way. You feel comfortable around this person. You feel protected and safe with this person. And I think that, it kind of puts things to the side, like finances and ego and status and all that. And it kind of releases some of that extra stress that kind of comes in with that. So a perfect date would be to to possibly get together with this person, go to a movie and just be present with one another, because it's quiet comfort. You're in each other's space, right? And you can laugh together at the movie, right? It just creates a beautiful bonding moment. And so just building upon that, but it's really a reset for you back to the emotional safety that you started to build your relationship on. And so remember that these solid core principles, that's a foundation to build upon. You still eventually will have to start to work on the emotional intimacy more, making sure that communication is on point, making sure that the boundaries are intact, making sure that you both are still committed to what you're building and committed to one another. And it creates a beautiful energy here, Cancer. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that this helps you on your path. If you are still with me, if you could hit me in the comments with the word reset, because I do hope that this is helpful for you to reset going forward in this beautiful connection. And if you're interested in being aware of when I make new videos, please don't hesitate to hit that like and subscribe so that you're in the know. And as always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.